everybody, this is Gerryl, Frisco Fit City Ambassador, welcoming you to this edition of Get Moving Minutes. And today I want to talk about saturated fats, okay? Loaded topic, I know. We're going to talk about what are they, where are they, and how much should we be eating. All right, our USDA guidelines recommend that we limit saturated fats, that we avoid trans fats at all costs, that we limit added sugars, and we limit added sodium, okay? I will tell you just super quick, you'll be way ahead of the game if you avoid all of the processed, packaged, man-made foods at the store and stick with your whole foods, your real foods, foods that you recognize as food that either grew on land or flourished on land or swims in the ocean or flourishes in the ocean, okay? Most all of the packaged goods in the grocery stores today have a huge amount of added sugars, added sodium, added preservatives and additives, chemical preservatives and additives that they need to put in there to make them shelf stable so that they last a long time and they don't go rancid. And that's great for selling products and not wasting a lot of products, but it's not good for our bodies, okay? So that's my quick tip for the day. Back to saturated fats. What are they? Where are they found? And should I limit them? First of all, I want you to understand that saturated fat is an essential part of our diet, okay? It's an energy source. It helps us to absorb vitamins and minerals. We need it for proper calcium absorption for healthy bones. We need it for the structure of our cell membranes, okay? We want the fats that we eat, good quality variety of fats for that cell membrane. That cell membrane needs to be firm enough to hold that cell membrane together, right? But it needs to be flexible enough and permeable enough to let the good stuff in and the bad stuff out, all right? So just think about, just the health of the integrity of every single cell membrane in your body is vitally dependent on fats, okay? Also, the sheath surrounding your nerves, that myelin sheath, okay? It's almost like your electrical wire coating. That actually, we need fat to make and produce that. And believe me, as you get older and you age, you want to keep that myelin sheath as healthy as possible. You don't want it to get frayed over time. Fats essential for blood clotting, essential for muscle movement, essential for the wear and repair of natural inflammation functioning in your body, okay? So, I mean, there's your benefits right there. So do not fear fat. We need fat, okay? What are saturated fats? Well, these are the fatty acids that don't have double bonds. They're fats that are high in saturated fatty acids are usually solid at room temperature. So that's the easy way. How do you know if it's saturated fat? It's saturated fat, it's solid at room temperature. So when you cook bacon, you leave that pot out on the stove and you come back in there the next morning. I don't know if you ever do that, but I've certainly seen it. There's like that grease that was liquid when it was hot, now it's all solid. That's a saturated fat, right? Butter is a saturated fat. Coconut oil is a saturated fat. It's saturated, the carbons chains are saturated with hydrogens, okay? I don't know if you need to know that, but they're fully saturated with hydrogen, so they pack in super tight, so they can be, and here's the biggest thing that you need to know. Saturated fats are very stable and suitable for cooking at high heat, okay? So think your coconut oil, your butter, okay? I mean, here's one important thing I want everybody to understand, regardless of what oil or fat you're using for cooking. Saturated fats better for higher heat. Unsaturated fats better for lower heat cooking. If an oil or a fat ever burns or smokes, you need to throw it out and start over because that chemical structure has changed and now that oil is damaged. And when you ingest it, now you're ingesting harmful chemicals in your body that wreak havoc and affect the DNA structure of your cells. So it matters. The oils that we're using and we're cooking with, it matters, okay? So saturated fats. hugely stable for cooking, fine for high heat. All right, here's another thing everybody should, which you guys might find interesting. Every food that contains fat contains some saturated, some monounsaturated, some polyunsaturated fatty acids in different proportions. So even if we call a fat saturated fat, it's still got some unsaturated fats in it. We just call it a saturated fat because it's got a higher proportion of saturated fats. So anytime you're ingesting saturated fats, you're getting some unsaturated fats too. And the same is the reverse, right? When you're eating unsaturated fats like olive oil does have a percentage of saturated fat in it. It's just much, much less than the unsaturated fats. So I think that's something that's important for people to understand. Where are saturated fats found? Well, they're in animal products. So your meat, your dairy, your cheese. They're also in tropical oils like coconut and palm oil. These oils are solid at room temperature, okay? Next, all right? Should I limit saturated fats? Well, when we think of an intake of saturated fats, the guideline is that it should be limited to less than 10% of your calories per day, okay? So in order to do that, you're probably gonna have to make sure that some of your fats are unsaturated fats, all right? Now, the human body uses some saturated fats for physiological and structural functions, as we went over before, but it also makes more than enough to meet those needs. So keep that in mind. Individuals who are 2 years and older, therefore, we don't have any dietary requirements for saturated fats. We don't have a dietary requirement for saturated fat. I mean, come on, it seems weird that we would not have a dietary requirement for a natural fat that's used for physiological and structural functions. Doesn't that seem weird? Okay, so here's the other thing. As we talked about before, you can't completely eliminate saturated fat from the diet, since all fats are a combination of fatty acids, right? So here's the deal. Instead of focusing on the quantity of foods that we consume, okay, instead of like thinking 10% or less of saturated fats, our approach here at the Dr. Sears Wellness Institute, as a Dr. Sears coach, as a lifestyle medicine coach, we really focus on the quality of the choices that we make from whole foods, okay? And when we do that, if we can transition away from just thinking of foods in terms of energy and calories and thinking of them as foods that we ingest that promote health as opposed to promote disease, and focus on eating as many whole foods as possible, then we don't really need to think about whether this is, a low-fat diet or low-calorie. We're just thinking of the right kinds of fats, right? Making choices based on the quality rather than the quantity is a different way of thinking. So instead of limiting and therefore restricting saturated fats, we should enjoy them in moderation, and we should think in terms of fat flexibility. And just like all of the other nutrients, when we think of fruits and vegetables, we want to eat the rainbow of colors to get the maximum amount of antioxidants in our diets. Every single one of those colors represents a different vitamin, a different mineral, a different antioxidant. Well, fats are no different, okay? Same thing. All these different fats have different things to offer our bodies, and we should think about including a wide variety of fats in our diet, okay? So what does this mean in everyday life? It means that we're not fearing fat. It means that, hey, if you're not trying to lose weight, why can't you enjoy a little cream in your morning coffee and a little butter on your toast, right? Or use some coconut oil to prepare a healthy dinner. Look, there's still fats, right? We need to think of, we have to be mindful of our portions and the amount that we're using. Just because someone says olive oil is healthier than butter doesn't mean that we should use more olive oil, right? We want to use just the tiniest amount that we need to serve its purpose, right? To cook our food, to prepare it. But keep in mind, guys, when we're trying to get our kids to eat vegetables, right? If we need to put a little saturated fat, like if we need to saute up those vegetables in a little butter or add a little cheese to get the kids to eat them, that's actually a good thing, right? These are good, healthy fats that they need to consume. And guess what? When we add a little fat to our salads, our greens, our veggies, it actually helps our bodies absorb a higher concentration of the nutrients. I hope this information was helpful. I hope you'll use it to make better choices for you and your family. I know it can be overwhelming, but I always say this disclaimer as a health coach. If you're trying to make changes, don't think about all the information that you're getting bombarded with. Just think about one single simple change that you want to make and focus on that. Focus on that for a week, focus on that for 2 weeks, focus on that for 3 weeks, whatever it is, whatever pace you're comfortable with. And then once you feel comfortable with making that change and it becomes a habit, now move on to the next thing, right? One simple, single change, one at a time, over time, okay? Might not seem like a big deal at first, but that one simple change that you make over the course of 6 months, over the course of a year, over the course of 2 years, huge benefits to your health, all right? So don't feel like this, don't get overwhelmed by the information. Just stick with the one simple change that you're trying to make today before you move on to the next. This is Gerryl, Frisco Fit City Ambassador, reminding you to get up, get out, get moving each and every day. Make it a great day. Just reminding you, I am a professional health coach working here in the Frisco, Texas area. My specialty is diabetes prevention and healthy aging. If you are looking for a diabetes prevention group, live or virtual, I have a partnership here with the YMCA. Find out more about that at friscofitcity.com under diabetes prevention. If you do not have the ways and the means to join a group, you can also find resources to help you get healthy, stay healthy, and be well on my website at friscofitcity.com. This is Gerryl Krilic. Get up, get out, get moving. Make it a great day.